my name is Pascal. Today I'm going to talk you through a buy guide of the Rogue RML 690 rack. And my personal opinion is, in short, that if you want to get a 6-post rack from Rogue, that is the one to get. Now, why am I thinking that? The Rogue RML 690C optimizes the cost of a Rogue 6-post rack by getting the Monster Lite series, scrapping the color and really just focusing on the bare necessities while not giving up the idea of a 6-post rack. You can also see that reflected in how Rogue approaches this rack, because that is one of the few Monster Lite racks that actually actively asks you for upsells like the bench and the plates. And I will also say get off all of these upgrades and options if you want a 6-post rack, and I will go through this in this video in a bit more detail. If you want more written details, please follow the links in the description box below. And if you want to see Rogue in action, I have also several playlists here on YouTube where I'm lifting in the RM4 here that I personally bought and reviewing the equipment that I have. Big question about a 6-post rack is whether you should get it at all. My personal opinion is that a 6-post rack is oversized for a home gym, because you will be able to store your plates on a 4-post rack, a full rack, without any problems and move freely in it, unless you are Brian Shaw or Eddie Hall, but that is not the average Joe out there. So then the question becomes, why have a lot of storage in the back of the rack that is more or less dead space that costs you quite a bit of coin? So that is why I'm not a fan of 6-post racks, and I would always steer you towards an Rogue RM3 that is a half rack, or an HR2 or a Rogue RM4, depending on your needs and whether you want to enter the Monster Lite series or the Monster series of Rogue. But if you're getting a 6-post rack, I think the Rogue RML 690C is the best choice from Rogue. So as my argument against 6-post racks for home or garage gyms mainly hinges around space within the rack, I will give you a bit of an idea of the dimensions. So I am personally 185 centimeters tall, I weigh 100 kg, so I am considered a heavyweight for powerlifting purposes or for boxing purposes. And as you can see while I'm standing here in the frame of a Rogue RM4 rack, I have plenty of space to move around, even though I'm storing the plates on the uprights. So when I started researching Rogue racks, I also was concerned about that and wanted to move all of the plates and anything that I would like to store out of the rack space to keep it free and on the back of an RM6. That is the first option that I looked at. And then I came to my senses and was a bit more like, yeah, you know what, that is actually a lot of money just for space and for storage space, because, you know, get something from IKEA, throw your plates in there, and that is way cheaper, just saying. But also then when I finally actually built the RM4 that I'm standing in here, you know, I'm really very happy with the plenty of space that I have here, and also check out the YouTube playlist training for the jersey that I have. And then you see me from the side, from the front, deadlifting, squatting, bench pressing, you know, it's just, I never have problems with the space at all. Now, if you were to downgrade from the RL690 to the 490, the dimensions inside are actually the same if you wanted to save yourself a bit of coin. Toss a coin to your witcher. Anyway, so based on that, you know, just that you get an idea of the dimensions. If you're smaller than me, then why even bother with a 6-post rack? And if you're about the same size, just think about what I said and maybe save yourself really quite a bit of money to put into other upgrades that make everything a bit more functional, or put some color on your barbell, you know, get one of the, you know, Matt Fraser bars, or get a custom bar. Because that's way more fun than just having space for $1,000 in the back or $500 that you just throw your rubble in. That's what I think. Next, a bit more reasoning for you of why I think the Rogue RML 690 is the best 6-post rack that you can get from Rogue. Now there's also the R6 and there is the RM6 and there is the RML 690C as other 6-post options. And if you're getting a bit confused, just get a few different tabs up on your computer and just compare the two. They're all 6-post racks. So let's go through the different options. The R6 is part of the Infinity/Echo series of Rogue, and that hasn't really seen a lot of love from Rogue lately in terms of product engineering and innovation. So that is why I'm discarding that one as a good option, because you don't know whether you will be participating in all of the nice upgrades that are coming in the future. The next one to talk about is the RML 690C. Now, yes, if you want a bit of color on your 6-post, fair enough, then that is the better option. But I personally think about it in that way. When you want to buy a 6-post and actually get a bit of dead space in the back, because there's also not a Rhino belt squat available for the 690C, then at least cut out as much cost as you can possibly do for getting the extra metal. Now, how can you do that in the Rogue portfolio? Well, you go with Monster Lite instead of Monster, and you go without color. Now, these two do extract a bit of the money pain by still getting a 6-post rack, which brings us to the last option, which is the RM6. So the RM6 is the monster, the flagship rack from Rogue since they've discontinued the RM8. It's the most expensive thing that you can possibly get in terms of racks from Rogue for a home gym. Now, bar the monkey thing, that is based on, but that is for commercial use anyway. So the RM6 is really what you can get and is most expensive. I think if you're going the RM6 way, it's more something to aspire to and get an upgrade from an RM4, including the Rhino belt. And that is why I'm excluding that for most people who want to buy from Rogue and still, want at least to be a bit budget conscious about it. And this is also reflected in the Rogue RML 690, because the Rogue RML 690 has been reworked, the landing page of it, to actually ask you for buying a bench and buying bumper plates on the same kind of landing page for the RM 690, which suggests that a lot of people buy it because Rogue then also thought about, okay, how can we make an upsell on each of these transactions? And you don't see that on or many of the other Monster Lite racks in the past, because there was no need for Rogue to go back to that page and think about for upsells, because, well, the sell numbers are not that high. So what I'm telling you with that is, also a lot of other people think that the 690 RML is a good buy for a 6-post because they made Rogue think about how to get upsells on that specific checkout. As this is a buy guide for the Rogue RML 690, let's talk about the options that they actually present to you when you're checking out. So they present to you a flat utility bench to add to the order. Personally, I would decline on that one and directly go for the adjustable bench. Now, as I'm filming this video, Rogue just recently came out with the adjustable bench 3.0, which is basically a clone of the most successful rep fitness bench. And that would be the one that I would put in my basket if I had a redo. Personally, I have the 2.0 version of that bench. Now, why am I saying that? At some stage of your home gym or garage gym journey, you will upgrade to an adjustable bench anyway. So don't bother with the flat utility bench, because what it will become is just a storing space for your shoes and kettlebells and whatnot. And that is really a bit of a waste of money for a utility bench like that. So rather than getting the utility, bite the bullet and directly get an adjustable bench. The next option that they present to you are the bumper plates. Now, I think for most home gym users, go for the bumper plates, get a decent set of them and work away with those. Now, why am I saying that? Bumper plates are low maintenance, they're low cost, they're all purpose, they can be used outside and inside. And you know, they also don't have that much of a variance on the weight. So that is why I think for beginners with a home gym, they are a good buy because they're good value for money and they don't cost a leg and an arm. You could technically upgrade to the flag plates if you wanted to, then don't check out on the RML 690 landing page because they're not that much more expensive and they're just a bit more vibrant and a bit more colorful if that is your cup of tea. But otherwise, the simple bumper plates, I think, are one of the best options for first-time buyers. Yes, there are calibrated plates and competition plates, and I personally own the black training plates. So for the black training plates, I also have a long review if you're into that. But most people won't need that kind of fancy stuff because they either don't lift enough. If they lift enough, they want iron plates anyway to maximize what they can put on the barbell sleeve. And also most people don't really do a lot of overhead work. If you do, then bumper plates are still good enough for starting out, and then you can upgrade to competition plates at a later stage. Last option to consider are safeties. Now with safeties, I'm sometimes all over the place, but there are pin and pipe systems, there are the Rogue flip down safeties, and there are the straps and there are spotter arms. So for me personally, don't get spotter arms because that is the only safety equipment that I ever managed to break myself. And based on how the leverages can be used and the many possibilities to set these things up wrong or miss them when you are failing a squat, or the barbell actually hopping off and then just being out of control. Therefore, I think spotter arms are pretty shit, so don't get them, don't even go near them. The pin and pipe systems are next. I think pin and pipe systems are very solid because you can use them for rack pulls, for pin presses, for pin squats, as long as you have enough space in your home gym to feed them in from the front. Because that can be a limiting factor if you don't have the necessary space in front of the rack to get them in and out. That is just comes with the engineering and the design that can't be changed. But if the wall is basically right at the rack in front, then you can't use the pin and pipe system because you won't get them in and out. Which brings me to the flip down safeties. Flip down safeties are not an option for the Rogue Monster Lite, but if my video should change your opinion to go for an RM3 or an RM4, then definitely throw in the flip down safeties because you will never get them as cheap with your purchase than with the initial rack. If you buy them separately, they're around 400 bucks. If you buy them as an upgrade to the Monster series, then the flip downs are only $160. So that is an absolute steal if you were considering Monster and if you were ever going near the flip down safeties, which I recommend, but check out the review I have on my channel that is dedicated to the flip down safeties. Last point to talk about are straps. I personally don't like straps. Some people do like straps. If you're a commercial buyer, don't get the straps because people will steal them on you. If you are buying for a home gym, then straps can be an option. Just be aware that it is a lot more likely that you will set them up at an angle, you know, because with pin and pipe it is very hard to do that. With flip downs it is almost impossible. It is actually impossible to get them in at an angle. And with the straps, I also do not think they're really ideal for any kind of rack pull work or pin squats, pin presses, because there is a lot more spiel in them because they're just fabric. In terms of safety, when you drop the weights, the straps are just as safe as any of the other options. Like it won't rip, it won't, you know, it won't be breaking on you, because these safety straps are also used to tie down cargo, so they will withstand what you throw at them. That is not the main concern. It's more about how they behave once they get in touch with the barbell, and I just personally don't like that because they can just go in kind of any direction. But that is a personal preference kind of thing. If you have used straps before and you like them, don't let me talk you out of them, because they are safe and they're roughly the same price as pin and pipe. That concludes my buy guide on the RML 690, and I really do think it's the best 6-post rack that you can get in terms of value for money from Rogue, while still having an eye on what happens with the product development of Rogue. And that is my take on the Rogue RML 690. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and tell your friends about my channel. And if you have any questions, please pop them in the comments section below. Have a very nice day and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.